Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for Sunday, July the 2nd. It's race number 3 at Belmont Park. We're going to kick off a 50-cent pick 4 with the Perfect Sting Stakes. This is for fillies and mares. We're going a mile on the Widener turf. Before we take a look at the field, remember that DRF has a 4th of July sale ongoing at shop.drf.com. Huge savings on past performances, the digital paper, and lots more for you to make those informed wagering decisions on 4th of July week and beyond. The Perfect Sting Stakes, as we take a look at the field, remember to scan and click the QR code for Race of the Day access on your mobile device, which includes free formulator past performances. Only a field of 5 in the Perfect Sting, but you've got 3 in here trained by Chad Brown, and all of those horses have credentials. We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, and the number 2 technical analysis is a fast horse. She was a gate-to-wire winner of the Boston Spa at Saratoga 2 starts back. But the number 3 Haughty, also trained by Chad Brown, has speed, and the number 5 Evie Jets also has speed. So it'll be very interesting to see how this is going to be played going into the first turn. It could very well be a jockey's race. I think Evie Jets is going to go from the far outside post. I wonder how Haughty and technical analysis play this. This pace could get hot, this pace could get raided, but it will be very interesting to see how the jocks play the opening quarter mile. One thing is fairly for certain, and that's the number 1 customer list is going to come from the back of the pack, as she did in her first start of the year, a first level allowance at Monmouth on June the 3rd. And customer list fell behind sort of a moderate pace in this race. She came with a run at odds on, and she got it done despite the layoff. It was a good, solid comeback race, a really nice prep to get her back into the stakes ranks. The question is, how good is customer list at the end of the day? She tried the risk-averse at Saratoga, which was a restricted stake for horses that have never won a stake, and she ran okay, but she was 4th. She has a lot of upside potential. Maybe she'll get the right pace set up. Of the 3 Chad Brown trained horses, she figures to be one of the bigger prices. The 2 is technical analysis. This filly did some very good work last year. She was 2nd in the Grade 1 Diana. She won the Boston Spa, and in her final start of the year, she caught her stablemate, an Italian, who's now probably the best filly and mare turf horse in the country, and technical analysis was chasing the pace. She was put on a hard chase to go after an Italian on the second turn, and then she understandably tired late. Now she's going to have to deal with a layoff. We haven't seen her since early October, and it is worth noting that last year in her first start off the layoff in a listed stakes race, the Plenty of Grace, she was odds on that day and she got beat. So perhaps technical analysis won't be fully cranked for her first start back, and they'll have races like the Diana listed on her dance card in the future, but if she runs her usual speed figure, she's obviously going to be very tough. What happened to the number 3 Haughty last time out? That's a big question that handicappers have to answer, because her final start as a 3-year-old was a very good performance. She won the Lake Placid at Saratoga. She got a great trip that day, just shaking loose on an uncontested lead and sprinting on home to just last. They put her in a tough spot, Chad did, in the first start off the layoff. It was the Grade 2 Churchill Distaff Turf Mile. Haughty showed good early speed, but she was all done at about the 5/16 pole, and she was basically eased the final 16th. She did not run well at all. It was a strong field she was in against the likes of Spenderella. The runner-up came back to run 2nd in the Grade 1 Just a Game with a 95 buyer speed figure. I think it's a very good sign that Chad's throwing Haughty right back into the stakes ranks here. She's going to show positional speed, and if you just think A, she needed the race, or B, she just didn't seem to handle that Churchill Downs turf course, which many horses have not been able to handle the past couple of years, maybe Haughty deserves a bit of a mulligan. Tick, 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 boom is going to be one of the bigger prices in the race. She's 10-1 on the morning line. She comes out of a race at Parks going a mile and a 16th, and she was sort of held up near the back of the pack in there and made an even finish. This is sort of a graded stakes quality field, I believe, with the likes of the odds-on favorite technical analysis. Tick, 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 boom is a horse that's taking a step up in class. If the pace is fast, however, she has run a couple of interesting races where I think maybe she can get a piece of this and liven up up your single race exotics. Evie Jets completes the field. She went wire to wire in the Plenty of Grace 2 starts back, and she was able to just get a very easy lead in her first start of the year at Aqueduct. She was on the lead last time out in the Bogey, but the horse that's pressing her was pretty good. That's Market Segmentation, who came back to pull off a little bit of an upset in the Grade 1 New York Stakes with a 96 buyer beating Warlike Goddess. So maybe Evie Jets is getting a little bit of class relief, a little bit of distance relief. She has shown some ability, and she's kind of underrated, where she'll be a decent price with the hot riding Javier Castellano aboard. Before we get to my top selection, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, I do respect the favorite in here, but she was beaten off the layoff at a short price, and maybe it'll happen again. I think Haughty's last race was an aberration. I think she's better than that. With that race under her girth and several workouts in the interim, I think Chad Brown will have her sharper. I want to try to take Haughty in the perfect sting. It's Sunday's race of the day. Remember the July 4th sale at shop.drf.com. Good luck.